In February 2023, a 33-car Norfolk Southern train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. This was an ecological and environmental disaster, with hazardous chemicals like vinyl chloride waste released into the air. Families were left to evacuate, uprooting kids who couldn't go to school. Some families didn't have money to stay in a hotel, and consequently, many had to live in nasty air quality and nasty water quality. They had the taste of chemicals on their skin, some have said. The soil was contaminated. Streams and bodies of water in the air had visible remnants of chemicals in them. That was only part of the situation. And I've really been needing to know what has happened since. How is everyone doing? Who were and continue to be the helpers in this tragic situation?
When the horrific derailment occurred, these two gentlemen pledged to make a difference, and they have. So joining me now are my guests, John Rourke, who's the CEO of Blue Line Moving and Storage, and Nelson McIlveen, the president and CEO of Century H2O. So thanks so much to both of you for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you both on Kristi K's After Hours. So John, we're going to talk a little bit about Blue Line Moving and Storage. And your company and your nonprofit does more than move people from point A to point B. Give us a little more information on that.
Yeah, so we're a local moving company, small business. You know, I used to work for this moving company over 20 years ago as a mover before I joined the Army and retired, and came back around after retirement and bought the company off the old owner that I used to work for. So it's kind of full circle for me with this company. And we do local and long distance moving and storage. But it's more than that. You know, we give back to the people of this country through different missions like the East Palestine mission. We're the company that brought the water up to East Palestine initially with President Trump when they initially chemically nuked that town. And I do a lot of other things such as border cleanups and large city cleanups and dog rescues. So we're more than just a moving and storage company. We want to give back, and that's what we do. And I partnered with Nelson with Century H2O to make this happen up in East Palestine and get these water filtration systems to the people that really need them.
All right. Thank you so much for your service. We truly appreciate that and all that you're doing as well in East Palestine. So Nelson, let's hear a little bit more before we get into the relationship, how you guys met. And we want to know about Century H2O. I know you've truly developed an innovative system that can take care of some of the treatments tied to harmful toxins in the water system now, especially in East Palestine. So tell us more about how you both came to meet. But first of all, tell us about your company.
Well, Century H2O is a division of another company I have, which is Celtic Plastics. We injection mold plastic parts for the airline industry, Homeland Security, and Verizon and AT&T and these kind of people. That's how I got to know about vinyl chloride, because I mold it. I know all about that material, and that's what kind of shocked me when I seen them do a burn, right? So Century H2O is a water filtration product that is done with natural ingredients. It's not a reverse osmosis. It's a healthy product. And we were at a Clay Clark event, going back now over about a year and a half ago, John. And we connected with John. We met him for lunch while we were down in Miami. We're from Arizona, so it's not like we're going to walk in with the same restaurant anytime soon. So we got together and we got to meet John. And we enjoyed what he was doing. We have the same mindset. We don't mind helping those who need our help. It's something that, people do, right? We've seen this problem in East Palestine. It was a perfect fit for us. We have a product that removes vinyl chloride. We understood what happened there when they did the burn on that vinyl chloride. We knew what was going on. So we stepped up and said, hey, let's see what we can do. So right at that moment in time, that was before we met John. We went in with the same, we met John when he was up in Ohio with the president. One of our influencers was in town giving away 200 of our systems. And she met with John. They got to talk a little bit, and that's how the relationship started building. And then from there, we got together, and John came to me and said, hey, wouldn't it be a good thing to do is go back to East Palestine, finish the job that we started, give a unit to every person in the city that wants one. And basically we're doing something that the president started, and we want to finish the job now. So
that is amazing, Nelson. Oh my gosh, so many things. And we're going to get into a little bit more detail on that too. When you first both went to the derailment site, tell us a little bit more. John, what did you see when you first got there? What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was just brutal to see American citizens struggling and really helpless and really nothing that they could do to get their town back to what it was before the train derailment happened. It's really unfortunate, and I felt so bad for those people up there because, not for nothing, they're really just getting the shaft. They deserve so much more than what they've been given and provided, and I felt like I just needed to do something more for the people there. And, it was really motivating to be able to go up there with President Trump and see real leadership on display, and a person that genuinely cares about American citizens and about what happened to those people there. And it was just unbelievable to see a town that just literally had been chemically nuked by this train derailment and the explosion thereafter. And it was just amazing to see President Trump show up, and those people seemingly forgot about what had happened to their town. They were just so excited and hopeful to see President Trump there. They were lining up the streets chanting USA, USA. And it was just amazing to see people really excited to meet the president and hopeful for, a new beginning in their town. And I delivered a ton of water for President Trump, of course, his Trump water. And, we wanted to do something more for that town. We knew that this was going to be a long-term problem. So I came together with Nelson, and we put together this mission to donate one filtration system to every single home in East Palestine, which is roughly 1,930 homes. So, when we were up there, you could feel it on your skin, the burning, you could smell it in the air, you could see it in the water. Every tributary, every creek, every river had aerators in it, and people all over the town from other places trying to clean up this mess. And, nothing will ever be perfect. And unfortunately for those people there, their town will never be the same. So we just want to give them a little peace of mind to know that, yes, the water that you're drinking is filtered because, the EPA told them that, the water is fine. But like I said before, people are weary of the government at this point.
Right. Yeah.
They don't really believe what they're saying. So we wanted to give them something that they could see with their eyes and know that the water was clean.
It is admirable, the two of you coming together like this. And Nelson, why was it that you were compelled in the first place to go to East Palestine from Arizona? And then after that, what made you want to pledge to invest, as John just said, invest in these systems that would be bringing this clean water filtration to those living in East Palestine?
Well, unfortunately, I mold vinyl chloride, okay? I run in molding machines. And if I run those machines 5 degrees out of spec, I can kill every person in the room with that gas, okay? So when I seen them do a burn, it wasn't the fire that was a problem. It wasn't the vinyl chloride that was a problem. It was the smoke that came off that product. Vinyl chloride doesn't burn. It gives off a mustard gas. They outlawed that in World War I, okay? When I seen that, I made a call back to my chemist in Germany, and he said, we got a product that removes vinyl chloride out of the water. Okay, so we had the product. We have the only product that I know of to this date that removes vinyl chloride out of the water down to 0. The government says 5.00 parts per million is acceptable for you to ingest. I say it's not. That's why we went. That's the reason. Okay, so I'm from Chicago, so I'm from the Midwest. I get it. And I'm like, looking at these people getting, like John said, when our influencer went in there, she was there for a day and a half, and she got sick from it. Just being there for a day and a half. I'm telling you.
Can you imagine what these residents are going through?
Oh, it's devastating. I'm getting calls right now. I get calls maybe 2 a week, and they're telling me like how bad it is. They're getting cancer. They're, strange cancers. So nobody can put it on the fact that the vinyl chloride created that. But at the end of the day, things are happening, and you can't put your body in that kind of environment. Okay, so if you ingest the water, and the water has a bad product in it, it's going to result in something not, going right in your world. So we gave something back. We're going to give something that's going to work. This product also just doesn't do vinyl chloride. It takes out all kinds of other poisons that are in your water. So it's one of those products that's going to make your life a little better. And why not? right? I mean, they're Americans. We're supposed to take care of one another. That's how this works,
Yes.
So
Thank you for that. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely what this comes down to, is really seeing those people in East Palestine, being able to say, look, they're fellow humans. I'm an Ohio girl myself, so I understand it's not far from actually where I grew up. So I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm seeing the helpers like the two of you really diving in and making a difference in their lives. And I want to talk a little bit more too about the financial investment that you both are making in this. This is no small feat. Talk to us more, John. What about you? Let's start with you on that. The financial investment, what these cost, what it costs for you to be there on the ground and getting the filtration systems to the people of East Palestine.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to spend thousands. Nelson's really the one that's, taken the lead with this, and he's the one that's going to be spending the most amount of money. His company is the company that builds the systems and provides them. And, what we're trying to do is just provide these people with a little bit of peace of mind. And, there's no amount of money in my opinion that we could spend. I mean, it's worth it to me to provide fellow Americans with peace of mind, to know that at the bare minimum that the water they're drinking is clean. Like, don't you feel like we at least owe it to our fellow Americans to be able, in the richest country in the world, the most successful country in the world, for American citizens, some of them veterans, to be able to at least drink water that comes out of their faucet, that they pay for, that they've been paying for, taxes, water bills, etc. They deserve at least that, and this system is what's going to provide that to them. So cost be damned, you know what I mean? I have a nonprofit, We Fund the Blue, that we're actively trying to raise money to help offset the costs for Nelson and his company. I'm going to buy plane tickets and, and car rentals and hotel stays and food, and that's, a few $1,000s. But what Nelson's doing as a small business is nothing short of amazing. He's really putting it out there. And, there are massive, massive water filtration companies that do whole home reverse osmosis, this kind of thing, that kind of thing. None of those people are stepping up. It comes down to the small business owners, the backbone of the country, to show leadership and provide these people with clean drinking water. Any of these massive companies could have done this, what we're doing, with the snap of a finger. But it takes small business, hardworking Americans, the ones that can actually see what's going on in this country and are not, at 30,000 feet looking down on the people from their CEO offices. These are hardworking Americans. Nelson is, I am, and we want to make a difference. We want to put America first. That's what it's all about, putting Americans first. We see millions and billions of dollars going to all these countries that hate our guts, and yet American citizens are forced to not even be able to drink clean water. If you know anything about East Palestine, it's a very poor area, so these people are not running around with tens of thousands of dollars in their bank account. They couldn't even get a hotel to stay in or a VRBO. How pathetic is that? It's unacceptable behavior, and someone has to call it out and do something about it, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Well, we thank you so much for that. And Nelson, as we talk about the cost of the water filtration systems, what does one filtration system cost somebody? And you are donating these. Let's remember that. You are donating these to those who live in East Palestine. So talk to us more about that.
Well, retail price is about $325, okay? My cost to put these units in will be somewhere around $300,000, okay? So that's just the cost to put it in. You got shipping costs and you got, going up there and whatnot. So the bottom line is, you can't put a price on health. Okay. You can't do, and what John said was, and to some degree it was very true, that these large companies could step up, write a check. But here's the problem. The water filtration world that it doesn't have the product we have. And this is what the EPA told me. You got a great product because we haven't, they're using aerators. Okay, so think about what they are doing to you. They're aerating the water. So where's that vinyl chloride go? Into the air. Now you're breathing it. Wham, we're the only folks out there that can take the vinyl chloride directly out of the water and control it and hold on to it so it doesn't go into your lungs. So we are being blessed with a product, and we've been working with some very high level chemists around the world, and we've been blessed with a product that can do what we need to do at this moment in time. So why would we not give it back?
It is an amazing sacrifice. And the people of East Palestine, to no fault of their own, are living in this horrific situation. And I know the partnerships that the both of you have had with the mayor of East Palestine, Trent Conaway, that partnership and some of the others who live there has been really phenomenal. So, John, talk to us a little bit more about that. in terms of what you're seeing today with those partnerships? I'm sure they're welcoming you with open arms.
There's some great people that live in that town, and one of them is a gentleman named DJ Yoakley. He's a young guy, and he's lived in East Palestine his whole life. He has a business there, and he was very, very much affected by what happened there. Not only his business being forced to close down because his business was along the area of the crash site, so his business has been completely shut down. And obviously, he doesn't want to drink the water or put his kids in the water. So he's in a really tough situation, being 30 something and living in this town. You lived in your whole life and everything's been great. And next thing you know, your town just got destroyed. And there's not a whole lot of answers for him and his family as to how can they financially recoup the money that they lost through the closing of their business, and more so the health of of his family. And they're motivated to find the solution in East Palestine that can help these people long term. And I think that at the very minimum, we're providing that to these people. I know it's just a system that's going to be at your kitchen sink, but I mean, who doesn't want clean drinking water? I mean, come on, we live in the United States of America. How are we even having a conversation about providing people with clean drinking water? You would think that we're in a third world nation here. This is not Haiti. You know what I mean? This is the United States of America. We have to deliver the bare minimum like that to our residents, to our citizenry. And the problem is that those people will never be able to sell their homes. Could you imagine? I'm sure maybe you own a home, maybe you don't, or you have in the past. Imagine just buying a house and knowing that you're never going to be able to sell it. The fastest way to wealth for a lot of Americans in this country has been stripped from you, because you'll never be able to move out of East Palestine, because no one is ever going to move there ever again. And that's the shaft that these people have been given. No one's talking about that, right? The focus
is really dire when you think of it that way. When you put it like that, John, that's really dire.
Yeah. I mean, you own your house, you paid it off, you're ready to retire and move to another location. And now you're stuck here. You're stuck in East Palestine because there's no way you could sell your house. It's unacceptable. And the lawsuit that they're going through at Norfolk Southern, where are these people going to get $100,000, $200,000 after the lawyers take their money and everyone else takes their money out of it? These people are going to be left with, with nothing to where they can move and restart a new life somewhere else in Ohio. Right?
Absolutely.
That's what most of them going to do, because they don't live there any longer. They love East Palestine, but they can't live there any longer. It's like saying you want to go move to Chernobyl. Who the hell wants to do that? No one. Hey, I just bought some land near 3 Mile Island. Want to come set up a house with me? No, it's not going to happen. Right. That's exactly what's going on there.
That's where they are. And not to mention their health insurance bills, their health state, if you will, the kids, their parents and grandparents, they're all struggling with that. And as you said, Nelson, too, with the water filtration system, and that is a great starting point for them to get some healthiness back into their worlds, into their lives. How has this been received in terms of getting the water filtration systems and then having you be able to help them put them into their homes?
Well, it takes about 15 minutes to put it in. So putting it in the house is very simple. Anybody can really do it. The part that's really sad is the first time we went in, when we gave our 200 plus systems away, the ones that didn't receive one, they were, pretty much sad. I mean, it was, people were crying. People were, they're basically, you got older folks, retired folks, and they can't do anything to help themselves. And they don't have the resources financially, like John said. That's the problem, okay? They just don't have the resources. And I got people calling me, well, what about my shower? What about the, they're like, they don't have the money to invest in their health. One of the things that we're very fortunate is that we have something that we can help these people with. That's huge. Most people, they want to help, but they have no way of really helping because they got nothing to help with. John and I, we have an opportunity. We're going to take advantage of it, do the best we can for these folks. And at the end of the day, at least they'll be drinking something that's not going to poison. That's kind of huge.
It's a giant sacrifice that you're making to help these people live a better life and give them hope. 2 men, 2 companies, the things that you are both doing, you're aligning for the greater good. You're doing things that with Blue Line, moving and storage and Century H2O, you guys are both, you have these wonderful synergies together. The things that you're doing, your like-mindedness, your attitudes to really help has this halo effect. And it really does have this positive impact that continues to occur. We need you to keep it going. Nelson and John, we thank you so much for being a part of Kristi K's After Hours, for sharing your story. Let's keep it going. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you to our underwriter, KeyBank. We love you. If you'd like to be a guest on Kristi K's After Hours or have a topic and an expert you'd like to book, reach out to me via email or on LinkedIn at Kristi K. Hoffman, or on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Kristi K Media.